Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Boss Rush Podcast, a great place to play games and be better. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Dirrig, and alongside me, as always, is the PC Muscle Race himself, LeRon Dawkins.
What's poppin'?
LeRon, your hair is starting to grow back.
Exactly. I told you it would.
This pleases me.
Yep.
Mine is not. But mine has
my wondrous locks will be back soon.
Also joining us is the mad pharmacist herself, Stephanie Klimov.
Good evening, friends.
Hello. How are you?
Well, I'm better now that I'm here. Podcast night is my favorite night, even though I'm dead tired.
Yeah, today has just been a day.
Cheers
Yeah.
to our gigantic size energy drinks.
Yeah, 20 fluoride ounces.
I'm not drinking an energy drink.
It's far too late for energy drinks right now on the East Coast.
Joining us is special guest. You might have heard his 1v1 last week with Celeste Roberts. Aewch.
Hey, good to see everyone. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah,
Yay.
we're happy to have you.
It's good.
You should definitely go listen to the 1v1 with Celeste, but if people haven't listened to it yet, tell people what you do on the internet.
Yeah, I'm one of those guys who've been on it for so long, but I never stick with a certain product. I've done podcast, videos, live streams, all on, off, varying degrees of success, which is none. So it is just one of the things I've been around for a while. I can kind of do a little bit of everything. So, I'm trying on my podcast right now. So in between that, I write for Boss Rush Network, do a lot of banters and things like that. So I'm kind of here and there trying to get something going.
Nice. Well, we're happy to have you. Glad Stephanie said that you were going to be on today. I'm like,
Yep, I take the credit.
yeah. To be fair, she's about 95% of our guests. It's Stephanie's fault. So, but
And can I give you a compliment, Aewch? You have such a great voice for podcasting now that I think about it. I've been listening
You
like,
do.
man, he has a good voice.
Yeah, he does.
Thank you. It's every now and again when I do get compliments on it, it's just like that means so much because it's one of those things that doesn't get brought up. Like a coworker where I work at brought up like, "Ouch, I just want to shake your hand." And I'm just like, "For what?" It's like, "For having an excellent podcast." It's like that's the nicest thing anyone has said to me about it. So
Yeah,
I
that's
appreciate that.
do you want to tell people what your podcast is called so they can go listen to it?
Yes, it is called the Aewch Cast, AEWCH Cast. You can find it anchor.fm/Aewch or search on Spotify, the Aewch Cast. It comes right up. So available on, I'm sure, other platforms that I'm not quite sure how it gets there, but I'll take its word for it. But it's the Aewch Cast, AEWCH.
I found it.
Yep. Same
We're
here,
gonna
looking at it right
subscribe.
now.
I'm gonna have to put that into the promotional rotation for Boss Rush.
Ooh, Far Cry 6. Okay. Sorry,
The
I'll
Jake
take it down.
Paul experiment. Uh-oh.
So yeah.
Like
Anyways,
Like the podcast has become like the creative outlet just to try out certain things, whether it be reviews, creative writing, traditional blog forms. So that kind of became like the pandemic hobby, so to speak, during the time, just because, you're stuck at home. We have all these, streaming services, things like that. So it's just like, it became a real easy outlet to actually take care of it. So.
cool. Well, I now follow you on the Aewchcast.
There we go. One by one, the takeover begins.
Yeah.
How do you think I got to be a co-host on this podcast?
It's soon going to be the Aewch Rush Network, and we're all going to be out of jobs.
That sounds like a big check I would have to cut. I'm not sure if we're there yet.
Yeah, it'll come sooner than you think, I guess. Man. Anyways, we, as you know, have a Patreon. Let me pull it up here real quick. You can support the Boss Rush Network on Patreon. Patreon.com/Boss Rush Network. For just $1, you can get early access to 4 different shows. You get the audio version of this show 1 week early. You get early access to Nintendo Power Block Expansion Pass. You get 2 weeks early access to Standard Definition, our Retro Nostalgia podcast, and 2 weeks early to After Dark. But the $5 tier, everybody, is the Patreon producer tier. What does that mean? It means you get early access to all those shows, plus a Patreon producer credit shout out during this segment of this here program and others. So, without further ado, our Patreon producers for this episode of the Boss Rush podcast are Quentin Jackson, Rebecca Jewell, Adriel Munger, my wife Sana Dirrig, and Francisco Santillan.
Yay!
Yeah, Quentin's actually in the chat right now.
Yeah, Quentin Jackson, just in time for your Patreon producer shout out. I want to thank all of our Patreon producers. I want to thank all of our patrons, and I want to thank all of our free listeners. Remember, all of our content remains free. If you are a patron, you do get that early access. And if you are a free listener, please leave us a 5-star rating on iTunes or Spotify. It really helps us out. Super appreciate it. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that thumbs up, subscribe button, all that stuff that YouTubers are supposed to say and we never do. So,
Well said.
how's everyone's week going so far? Stephanie, I'm starting with you because you look like you're having a great week.
Oh, just fantastic. I mean, I can't complain. It's just another standard week of work where. Sorry, I'm going to rant about work for a second.
That's fine.
For those that don't know, my day job is a clinical pharmacist. I have a doctor's degree in pharmacy. So, what kind of work would you expect me to do? Clinical stuff, right?
You're a doctor?
Well, PharmD, a doctor, but it's like a dentist thing. People don't recognize that you're a doctor.
So do I have to start calling you Dr. Klimov? Is that like the proper thing we have to start calling you now? No.
No one calls me doctor.
Even though you are, though.
I am, but like I also
That
don't
gives a
wanna be
whole
one of
new
those
meaning to that
prophets-
After Dark episode we titled "Call the Doctor."
I mean, like I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like, like all practically all pharmacists are doctors and stuff like that, but they're one of the few people that we never address by their title.
Mhm.
Yeah, thank you, LeRon. But I don't want to be one of those people like it's Dr. Klimov. Like I don't know. It's just kind of obnoxious.
I don't know. Got kind of tingly there just now when you said it like that.
It's like in The Lion King when the hyenas are like Mufasa. Oh man.
But instead of doing clinical doctory things, I've been marking up PDFs like of drug lists, just like I don't know, just because our client wants a certain list of drugs compared to like the template. So I've been marking up PDFs for a week to find out that marketing department wants me to mark it up on a different template. So I had to restart everything from the beginning, marking up PDFs instead of doing pharmacist things. So I'm just, a pet peeve of mine is wasting time. I hate wasting time. So I'm a little, anyway, that's a rant. I'm going to cut myself off here. Other than my week has been fine. I have some wonderful things planned for the week. I spent all my paycheck on some wonderful goodies that I think I'll share during our what we've been playing, right?
Mhm.
That's when we're show and tell. Okay, I'm done.
We can start a show and tell segment on this show. We did on Pow Block.
We don't. I mean, it we can, or I can just show it when I'm talking about what we've been playing. So,
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
so I can't complain. Life's been okay. There's cat hair flying around.
Cats, am I right? My cat was
Cats,
bothering me.
Strays coming out next week, and I can't wait to play it. I'm writing a game review. Cats are the best. Corey, shut up.
By the way, you guys saw my cat for the first time. Ever.
Oh, she was
Yeah,
adorable.
she's such a cutie.
I was eating a peanut butter bagel and she was staring at me because she wanted it. She wants nothing to do with me,
That's fine.
and I didn't give her any, so she pooped on the floor.
Wow, you have a begging cat. I thought they don't do that.
No, this one definitely does. She will literally sit under my son's high chair and wait for him to drop food on the floor so she'll eat it.
Well, she's smart then. And if someone
Hmm.
didn't give me their food when I was begging for it, I'd poop on the floor too.
Oh,
Didn't that happen to Johnny Depp? Isn't that what happened? Somebody pooped on him because he did something.
Pooped on him?
I don't
pooped
know.
in his bed.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh.
I don't know.
Note to self: do not invite Stephanie for dinner.
Just share, and everything will be okay.
Just share.
I can give you a plate. You don't need to beg off of mine.
Let's keep moving on before I say more inappropriate stuff.
LeRon, how's your week going?
It's been a rather turbulent week. I made the terrible mistake of telling somebody, just a colleague of mine in business, that Monday was a slow day, and I've been paying for it ever since. Yeah, like normally my working hours, I'm usually on from 9 to 5. Like I've got quintessential banker hours. Like, I mean, like, almost every observed holiday is a day off and stuff like that and things like that. And today I was doing a job that I got there at 3:00, and the job would have actually got me right to my clock out time, but it actually took me like 90 minutes past my clock out time. And talk about like I was one of those. I was looking like one of those like tigers like stalking the cage at the zoo. it was like, man, like there was only one thing that needed to be done. Why the hell is there 7 million things that have to get done now?
I guess that's kind of the life when you work in tech, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh.
It is. Those pesky fucking printers.
Did you plug it in? Did you unplug it and plug it back in?
Did you turn the power on and off?
Is it plugged in?
You're gonna laugh, but I've had to find very diplomatic ways of asking people if they restarted their machines, have they power cycled and all that stuff. Because my God, like, the worst thing you can do is ask the question straight up. Did you restart it? They lose their damn minds. They act like you just asked them, did they feed their baby this morning?
Yeah, but like, tell me, what are the odds of like one of those were an actual fix? It's got to be a decent percentage.
No, it's actually for most cases it's actually a fix. Like, especially like, if you're like me, my computer's on 24/7. Like sometimes it's running for like a couple of weeks before I realize, oh, I need to reboot this thing. And it's like, it's just like cache is getting filled up, the RAM is like, what the fuck, bro, and stuff like that. It's one of those situations where it's like, yeah, like restart your machines, especially if it's acting up. Restart your machines. That usually fixes everything, because like all that temporary stuff that's in the memory and stuff gone, and that's what's usually like killing your shit. But some people would rather, like they see the machines acting up, and they would still rather just trudge through what they're doing, like getting more and more angry and pissed off until they have to call me. And then when I say, hey, did you restart it? And they're like, yes, I restarted it. And I'm like, well, let's go ahead and restart it now. And then, oh, problem's fixed. Like, oh, yeah, did you?
And then they give you the death. And then they give you the death stare. Be like, really? It was that easy of a fix?
Yeah, exactly.
If it's ever something like that, I always apologize profusely to whoever's helping me.
The average person doesn't. I think on average, like, my job is nowhere close to being a thankless job. Like I get kudos and thanks. Sometimes I actually get cash tips on the spot and stuff.
Hey.
Cash tips.
Yeah. So it's not. So my job is nowhere close to being a thankless job, like say the United States military, which which I was a part of that at one point. Like there, I get the very grateful customers like, man, that's all you had to do, and I was like, yeah, that's all we had to do. Like this time, you didn't have a situation where you had to call QuickBooks and be on the phone for 3.5 hours just because you couldn't log into your workbook.
Well. Super.
So let's learn. Never tell anyone that you're having a slow day.
Yeah. Right before the show aired, though, I did roll credits on Sunbreak.
What?
Like every Monster Hunter game, you actually get to a certain point in the game where you actually see like the credits roll.
And you've been playing on PC?
Mm-hmm.
No more Switch?
No more Switch. No more Switch unless Corey's ready to get back on it.
Well, congrats.
Thanks. But really, all that means is that you, like, as soon as the credits roll and stuff, like the game doesn't so much start back over. The game kind of continues where it's at, and they just throw more stuff at you. It's like, yeah, like you beat the reason why we made this game, but here's a whole bunch of other stuff you can do to like just fill up more time.
You beat the red dragon, but now beat the reddish blue dragon.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it works.
That'd be so crazy if they started throwing Yu-Gi-Oh stuff like Blue Eyes White Dragon at you, Exodia.
That's exactly what they're called too, the reddish blue dragon. Yeah.
Could have fooled me. That's one of the. I think I started whatever was on the Xbox One. I cannot remember, nor do I care. And I just did not like I could not find a weapon that I liked that felt good. It always felt like too over animated. It was waiting forever for an attack move and things like that. I'm sure that's just getting used to a new system, but for me, it was just like, look at the time. I got to get out of here. So.
I hear you. Like the hardest thing for me is actually like I have the interest in starting a new weapon, but I always kind of like circle back to like the 3 weapons I'm just used to using.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's one of those things like but then I have to give like friends like suggestions, because like I have a buddy, he's struggling with playstyle, but he also doesn't have like hand dexterity. I think he's got like bad arthritis, and actually gaming does help him out in relieving that, but at the same time, it's also a double-edged sword, because like it relieves arthritis, but it also like makes it hard. It's hard for him just like maneuver around the controller and stuff. So he'd been asking me like because he'd been using the samurai sword, which is the long sword in Monster Hunter, and he was like, is there any other weapons that like I don't have to like really like rely on a whole bunch of like motion and like movement stuff and finger dexterity? And I was like, you know what? Try the lance. The lance, you just plant yourself down, and like you're basically like an impenetrable wall that pokes everything.
I'm sure real Lance people would just go, it doesn't poke things, it pierces them. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Duh.
Put some respect on Lance's name.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I use a gun lance, so like it pierces and it goes boom.
Wow. Aewch, how's your week going?
Decent enough, can't complain. Although we have been in the process of we are cleaning out some family members' houses. We have them moved out, and you don't realize how much shit everyone has.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you just triggered Corey. Sorry.
That's why like this last like 2 weeks I've been reorganizing and like purging stuff.
Yeah.
And I have like a big pile of stuff to get rid of, like probably like 15 like strategy guides and art books and statues.
Yeah.
And like, why did I buy this? I don't even care about this game. Like, I have the Halo Reach like statue with all the figures on it. I'm like, I'm not even that big of a Halo fan. Like, I have the Master Chief helmet from Halo 3, and I like have a lot of great memories of Halo 3 in particular, but anything like after that, I'm like, why do I have this? I have 4 God of War collector's editions. Why?
Wow.
Why? Well, I have the limited edition for 2, and then I have the Pandora's box from 3, and then I have the statue from, what was the one that nobody liked except for me, Ascension. And then I have the statue from the new one, and I'm like,
wait, God of War Ascension, was that the PS4 one?
No,
that was 3.
It was the last one that came out on PS3. It was the prequel.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not the biggest God of War fan, which is crazy for me because I'm a career like PlayStation player. Like I wasn't a big God of War fan, not until 2018 God of War came out. Then I was like all in.
See, that's it's the opposite for me. I loved God of War until 2018. I was like,
I'm gonna send you a lore video that breaks down what was going on in the story.
I know what was going on in the story. I just don't care.
Okay, you know what? Yeah, there we go.
See,
it wasn't
the only thing is, all that stuff is cool. We're just shipping out like old windows, screen doors, the cabinets no one's going to use. We're just trying to put that stuff into dumpsters. Like, we don't have anything cool like that to dig through. So some of that stuff, go to a secondhand shop. You know, you can kind of get rid of it with a little bit of cash back or whatever, but to an extent, you can still keep those around. They're cool set pieces at best, but you know.
Yeah.
All right, that sounds exhausting.
That too.
Yeah, that's yeah. I also have 2 Gears of War Lancers that I bought when I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna hang these up in a man cave someday. When I was in like my early or mid 20s, and I'm looking at them now, I'm like, there's blood splatter all over these. There's a knife on the end of one. There's literally a chainsaw on the other one. Probably not great to have around 2 children. 4 if you include my nephews.
Not without a lot of explanation.
Yeah. So those are probably leaving soon too.
You know, I'm still waiting for more information on the Skyward Sword.
I asked you if you wanted it.
I said yes. How much?
I'll send it to you.
Okay, we'll connect offline. Anyway.
We'll connect offline. That sounds like you're dating apps.
No, that's what people say at work. What kind of dating would that be if I would say, let's connect offline?
I don't know.
Be like, hit me up. That's what you say. Yeah. I don't know.
The secret kind. All right. My week's okay. It's been busy. It's an event week at work, so those weeks are busy. Busier than normal weeks, but it's all right. I like it. Wednesday.
So you say event. You say event week. What does that entail?
So, I work for a company who kind of creates marketing and promotional materials for enterprise tech companies, and
you have to show off now, basically.
No, well, I don't. The people I work for do.
There you go.
We run this thing called Tech Field Day, and it's basically we have companies come in and announce new products or show off current products, updates to current products, and we do like video interviews and podcasts and technical discussions and stuff like that, and put them on the internet for people to watch, and then they can kind of use that marketing material as they please.
Okay.
And this week is an event week. So if you're watching live, you can check out Mobility Field Day 7.
Hey.
Tom's wearing a bow tie.
Bow ties. I'm more of a regular tie kind of girl, but bow ties are cute.
Yeah. Tom lives in Oklahoma. He's one of our event leads, and he's like the king of dad jokes, so I'm like taking all these notes to embarrass my kids in 10 to 15 years.
Perfect. Good.
He's also a big Metroid fan, LeRon. You would like him.
Already, yes.
Yeah. That's how my week's going. Is anybody playing anything? Anybody watching anything? Stephanie
Aewch, why don't you
Ghost
go
of
first?
Tsushima.
Yes,
Me.
I'll talk about it later, but I want Aewch to go first because he's our esteemed guest.
Yeah. You make me sound special, please.
You are special.
Real recently, I grabbed a bunch of anime games off of a PlayStation store for $10. You know what? I'll give most of them a shot. I don't care. The biggest one is probably One Piece World Seeker, where it is basically its own special arc and episode from the One Piece. Kind of think One Piece mixed with like a Grand Theft Auto. It's a whole open world, missions, side quests, things like that. It's just done with you as role-playing, so to speak, as Luffy, where you can jump around, do all of his attacks, fly around, things like that. The first couple of hours are slow because you're just going, okay, there's no real challenge, but as soon as you hit like that 5-hour mark and you just die over and over again, it's like, okay, the game has begun now. Oh, great. Like, it looks good just because I think the manga itself has so many lines and swirls, you almost get dizziness from the manga itself. Put it in full 3D, it actually looks really nice most of the time. Characters look good. Really strange character design for like the regular islanders. Like a lot of characters, like there's always a set of characters who just looks like the mayor from Nightmare Before Christmas, where it's just a straight cone from the neck down. Like that's always strange. Outlandish colors. All the children are like the same height as all the old people. That's really strange. Like, it looks okay. UI is a bit small. It's hard to tell where logos are on the mini map, things like that. It's okay. One of the most impressive things I think is they have the full Japanese voice cast, which is par for course for anime games. But the music itself is like fully orchestrated with like sweeping like orchestral pieces from sounds. I think they'll do more horns than anything. For some reason, ska kicks up a lot in One Piece. I don't know why that is. But like, there are always these big sweeping symphonies throughout the entire thing. And it's just like, you just want to go to the conductor and just go, you know, this was for the cartoon, right? You don't need to go this hard on this stuff, you know? So that I always find really impressive on it. Like, the gameplay itself feels fine. It's kind of like a third person over the shoulder. You can kind of shoot, but you also have melee, so sometimes your camera angle gets weirded around and you're not quite sure where the hell you're throwing attacks at or anything like that. So far, so good. I am debating on that being the next review, although I have always argued, how long do you spend on a time before you do a review? You know what I mean? Just because, like, if you stop at 5 hours, does the 6th hour have something really good behind it? Does the game start?
I mean,
Because
I think it just depends on if you feel comfortable giving it a review. I don't think you have to put a time limit on it, you know? I mean, if you think you've gotten enough out of the game that you think you can review it.
But there's always a thing that you run the risk that someone calls you out and says, "Oh, you didn't play the game."
Good. They don't have to read my review.
I mean, that's exactly to me, I always want to hit that gameplay loop that you deal with most of the time and judge it on that. Like, side stuff, mini games, you know, who gives a hell? That doesn't matter too much. Like, but once you kind of hit the core of it is where I usually go, okay, do I need any more time here? We kind of get the idea. So that's always been kind of my go-to back and forth on that. Like, and then the only other like really bad trope of like certain anime games, it's always either a fighting game or it's always either a Warriors game, or they try to blend the two together sometimes. Let me see here. Like, there's 7 Deadly Sins, Knights of Britannia, and then the other one was whatever the hell, Tokyo Ghoul extended name, whatever the hell, I don't care. But they kind of mix attempting to be like a Warriors game, but they try to also give it a fighting sense and just make it like a 3D brawler. So, like, sometimes they get the gameplay mix okay, where it's just like, I can play this. Sometimes it's really chunky. Sometimes it's kind of smooth going through, like load times, stage selection, things like that. You know, they're okay. I haven't spent too much time in with them, but like, that's my only thing. I don't have time to watch 100 episode arcs to catch up with all these damn animes. Like, as much I like them, I like the idea, but life is short. I just can't spend all my time on a Hulu subscription. So as much as I want to, I just don't have that kind of time. So
that's fair. Isn't One Piece like 3,000 episodes or something?
I feel like it's the longest running anime series ever.
I believe it just hit 1,000 episodes, and I'm dying. Hold on.
Oh, wow.
There we go. I'm back.
We're witnessing it live, guys, on Twitch.
That's what we call an exclusive. So, but yeah, I think One Piece just hit 1,000 episodes. So, and you know, 800 of them are filler. I don't know. So
that's Toriyama.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is, you can stop watching Dragon Ball Z after the Cell Saga. I do not need Majin Buu. I do not need Kid Buu.
I agree.
To be honest with you, it just sounds like you're mixing up a bunch of words to me. I don't.
Yeah.
It amazes me. It amazes me. Corey is a nerd, but he is not the nerd. I swear.
That's.
He also doesn't watch any movies.
Yeah, he doesn't watch any movies. Like, I mean, like, dude, what do you waste your life away on besides Star Wars and Halo and Destiny?
I don't. What do you mean? I don't even play Halo.
Okay, fine. Star Wars and Destiny.
I don't watch that much Star Wars.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Hold on.
I said
hold
I
on.
loved Obi-Wan.
Remember how he said we're going to carve out an entire section of a podcast just to talk about the first 2 episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi? Remember that, Stephanie?
Yes.
I thought Obi-Wan was good.
I know Andre's in the chat. Like I know Andre will back me up on
That's
this.
fine.
Andre, help us out here.
I'm retiring. Stephanie, you're
got.
taking over. People
What?
want.
No.
We got at least 3 requests for you to start hosting anyway, so it's fine.
Nope. You're stuck. You cannot leave.
Nope. I'm gone. You ready?
Nope.
Yep.
He's gone.
Oh no!
Now he's gone. I can talk trash about him now. Oh, he's back.
Aw.
That's fine.
I mean, you could still talk trash about him, but he's
can.
here.
Yeah.
It's fine. You wouldn't be the first person. You won't be the last. It's fine.
No, I mean, yeah, I feel you on that, Aewch. Even though, like, I do enjoy Dragon Ball Z, I do enjoy it, But yeah, you're right. And the only reason why I agree with you that it could stop after Cell. Number one, Cell is my favorite Dragon Ball villain to date. Like, I mean,
Okay.
I still don't think there's anybody better than him right now. They had to do something to pay me back for the Frieza saga because God, that was a grind. That was a grind.
I mean, it just depends on how much you want to put behind fight scenes. Again, the fight scenes, are what they are. It's a fighting anime.
Yeah.
But without story, and it's just a block of episodes where it's the same thing over and over again, that stops being interesting.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And then with, Majin Buu saga, they didn't care. 100% you look at that and it's just, okay, we have 3 different forms of the bad guy. He kills everyone on Earth. How do we top this? It's just we just can't. Or it's just Goku. Goku will stop this every time.
Yeah.
That's it. So.
Which that gets, I get it's Goku's show, but that gets that's a tired trope for Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Especially when you think about the fact that they introduced Gohan in Dragon Ball Z to basically carry the torch, and then Gohan only got to shine in the Cell saga.
Yeah, so although then you have Goku behind him giving him the power or whatever, so even then there's an asterisk on that one too.
Yeah, which is why I'm hoping Dragon Ball Superhero actually does something.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be Gohan's story.
Right.
Well, not Gohan's story. It's supposed to he's supposed to be the primary focus as far. I guess he's the one that saves the world this time.
Yeah. Although they did a good job with Dragon Ball Fighter Z, that impressive as hell to make it look like the show. Feel okay. I think the balance of characters isn't great because it feels like everyone has the same combo.
Yeah.
Looks good, really flashy.
It's a really flashy
high
game.
Speed, and enough fan service that everyone would just go, okay, you get a pass. You can do whatever you want. This is actually pretty cool. So.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was going to say. I was just going to say it looks just like the show.
Impressively so. As in terms of the 2D cell animation mixing in with the whole 3D turnaround, it's mind blowing for sure.
Yeah.
Without judging it off of any other one. Those guys at Arc Systems did a really good job.
Yeah, I do have to say it does look. It looks amazing. But I just don't know I don't know who any of these characters are, except I know there's 14 Gokus in there, and that's all I know.
My favorite's Goku number 8. He's the best.
That could be a real character, and I would believe you. I do know half the characters are named after vegetables for some reason, or something like that, or food products.
Toriyama's whimsical way of naming characters is pretty cool, actually.
Isn't one of them's name literally Vegeta, like fajita, like a
No, it's vegetable. It's vegetable. It's just very generic.
Huh.
And then once he ran out of like freaking like vegetables and fruit to name people after, he started naming after underwear.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, is there somebody named Briefs?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
I feel like
briefs,
you're just.
You got briefs. You got trunks. You got bra.
No, these are fake names.
Oh,
no,
I'm not trolling you. I'm not trolling you.
I don't believe that. I don't think so.
Dude, I got called to the principal's office when I was in like second grade for saying the word bra. What the hell?
I'm sorry for you.
Oh gosh.
I mean, I don't know what Krillin's supposed to be. I don't know what fruit or vegetable that's supposed to be.
that sounds more like a normal name. Trunks? There's nobody named Trunks.
Yeah, all of Vegeta's kids are named after underwear.
That's what I put on to go swimming.
Trunks. Thong.
No thong yet, but it might come.
Hip hugger. G-string.
Hip hugger.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh.
There's like 20 different types of women underwear. Sorry.
That's too many. I'm a big fan of none. Anyways,
Corey likes Commando.
who's playing something else?
Oh,
Anybody
I have a
else
lot of stuff.
Okay.
Me.
LeRon, what are you playing? No, just kidding.
Oh.
Stephanie, what are you
You know what I'm playing. Like I already advertised. I rolled the credits on it earlier. Yeah. And besides, like you let me and Grayson talk about it for 40 minutes Monday night.
I did.
Good episode.
That was my
thanks.
gift to you.
Thanks. Yeah, just Monster Hunter Rise. I mean, Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. I can't say it enough. Like it's a very strong entry in the series. Like I mean, Generation 5 for Monster Hunter has been nice all around. World and Iceborne and now Rise and Sunbreak. Like it's been a nice run. I can't wait to see what Generation 6 is going to be. Because man, it's exciting, and if they keep throwing me a bone by throwing in monsters from like the now defunct Monster Hunter Frontier, I will be even happier.
Cool. Stephanie, I know you are.
Nope. You can go next.
I don't have anything to talk about, so
Nope,
you're
you
up.
can go next. Nope, it's okay.
I don't
I'll
have
go
anything to
last.
talk about.
I'll go last. Don't tell me you've watched literally nothing and played literally nothing. Did you play any more Death's Door?
I did, but
Okay,
I
talk
don't.
about it.
I don't know how much more people really care to hear about that game.
Have you beat it yet?
No, I'm on the 3rd dungeon.
How many dungeons are there?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
You're taking forever.
I'm sorry. I'm busy.
It's okay. I was gonna start Death's Door last night. I upgraded my internet, so downloaded from Game Pass took like 5 minutes, but then I got distracted, so I did not start Death's Door yet. But I beat Ghost of Tsushima.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. How's that? How do you
Great.
feel?
I feel fantastic. I shed a tear at the end. I'm not going to go too in depth with it because LeRon, you're waiting, right? So till you can play it.
Yeah.
But I will.
I mean, this. I don't really care about spoilers that much. I'm not one of those people that get really bent out of shape about like if you tell me like some key detail of the story and stuff like that because I don't know. Like I guess kind of when you're a writer, like you kind of roll with the punches. Like if a plot device comes out in casual conversation stuff.
Well, I can talk. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say if anything, like stuff like that is more intriguing. It actually like makes me say, okay, I need to get my ass in gear and like see what happens.
Okay. Well, I mean, I won't give like some really important finalities of it all, but I'm really glad I mainlined the rest of Act 2 and 3. I mean, the way the game ends, it kind of makes logical sense as to why you can keep doing what you're doing, because you're liberating the island of Tsushima from Mongol camps and bandits. So the way it ends, sometimes when a game ends, it doesn't kind of make sense that you can keep playing, like story-wise. But the way it's set up, it's like, oh, so Jin's still continuing his journey. Like, it actually makes sense. The battle sequences are amazing. That, you're Jin Sakai fighting the Mongols, so ultimately you're going to fight the final Khan. oh my gosh, such an epic battle. There was like kind of a surprise but not surprise boss after the con, where you get to make a very important decision. I don't know if you're nodding your head, Aewch. I assume you've played and beaten it.
Yes, I've made it through the main story. I did some side quests, not all, but I know where you're at on the storyline for sure.
Okay, I won't mention the character.
Mm-hmm.
But did you spare or did you grant the wish of the dying person's wish?
I did spare because to me, the ghost does things dishonorably. So in theory, I'm not going to grant the wish because that's not the character of that ghost. So I spared it. So I just was like, peace out, y'all. Push.
All right, I like that. I might want to replay the ending to get that because I did what the person requested because of the well, I'm gonna stop there. But anyway, I
know what you mean.
I love the music. I love there's very few games do I really care about how the combat works. Like I love Legend of Zelda, but it's not really intricate with combat.
Right.
But I took snapshot after snapshot. You can pet foxes in this game.
The foxes, yep.
Now that I've completed it, I do have a full opinion about Ghost of Tsushima. It's now sitting in my memories as one of the best games that I've played. I do really love it. I love Jin Sakai.
How far did you upgrade Jin and all his abilities there?
Almost everything.
Okay. Did you have a favorite weapon or favorite power up or anything like that?
So I know you have offense, like melee fighting, you have ranged weaponry, and you can also have ghost abilities.
Yes.
So in the beginning, and like with most games, I'm not a stealth person. I go in, balls to the wall. I just want to cut down everyone. I have gotten used to stealth. I like using the kunai to stagger my enemies. I also like chain assassinating enemies. But honestly, I just gotta go with my sword with most of my kills. I'm not really good with a bow. How about you?
I would always try to do the standoff as much as possible.
I love the standoff. Yes.
Just because if you get it upgraded, you take out the entire thing in 1-5 press, and then you're done. The one ghost stealth one that I did like, there's like a wind chime or a bell that you toss out and it would distract the guards and they would walk away. You can upgrade that so that it emits poison. So it's just like, we need to get rid of this guy. Poof. It's like, hey, what's that over here? So that just made things almost too easy, but it was really funny to watch. So
I clearly missed that. That's going to be the next thing I'm upgrading because that's awesome.
that made it a lot easier because now you don't even have to worry about it. It's just, oh, that guy's over there, not anymore.
Nice. I like the dart that makes them crazy and kill each other. It's like, oh, a bunch of enemies, send them the crazy dart, and then half of them are dead. It's
right.
Love it. It's a good game. Highly recommend. Ron, I can't wait till you play it. I want to talk to you about it when you do.
Okay.
Now, I'm sorry. I'm going to really not try to take too long. I'm going to do show and tell. This is Kena Bridge of Spirits came in for PS5.
Mm-hmm.
I got Resident Evil Village. I don't like scary games, but I'm getting it because I can play in third person later whatever. I got a physical copy of Sakuna of Rice and Ruin. I've got the Untitled Goose Game, the lovely edition. LeRon, you'll be proud of me. I know it's not like your favorite type of amiibo, but I got myself...
Oh, you got a Palamute.
A Palamute. It was like the only one at GameStop.
Actually, that guy looks kind of cute. Maybe I will change my mind about that one.
I still want the Palico, but I saw little Palamute there, and he was the last one at the store, so I had to get him.
Maybe I should stop being upset about those Monster Hunter amiibos and just get all of them.
Maybe you should.
Like all I get are the wyverns and the monsters.
And last but not least, I got the Annapurna Deluxe Limited Edition. And this has Donut County, Gorgoa, Kentucky Route Zero, Outer Wilds, Sayonara Wild Hearts, Telling Lies, Wadham, and What Remains of Edith Finch. I am 8-bit put this together. I love it. So
how much did that throw you back?
It was almost $200.
Oh snap.
But it's 8 games. So if you do the math, it's not that bad. And I've been eyeing that for a while, and I've been waiting for my paycheck. So that's
I
where
mean, it's only $25 a game.
exactly.
It just sounds like much,
Oh, for sure. So, but I mean, depending on what topics we get into, my topic is kind of related to that. But anyway, that's my show and tell. And the last thing I want to talk about is I saw Thor, Love and Thunder.
Oh yeah.
Anyone else see Thor?
I have not seen it yet.
Okay, so it was a great night. I can talk about it more at After Dark, but the movie itself was great. I honestly, like, Thor is not my favorite character in the Marvel Universe, and the Thor movies individually were okay for me. Like, they're just not my strongest, most favorite Marvel movies. And when I saw the trailer, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. It was great. They did make it more humorous and less serious, so to speak, but they did it in a way that I appreciated it. I actually laughed a lot. And they had a lot of great cameos. Matt Damon was in there. Russell Crowe was in there.
Yeah, Russell Crowe plays Zeus, right?
Yeah, Zeus. And the villain or the antagonist was played by Christian Bale.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a great premise. So I was pleasantly surprised by Love and Thunder, and I highly recommend it.
Nice.
That was my ramble.
Nice. Well, I played more Death's Door, and I got to the third dungeon. I was up to I was trying to get everything that we recorded last week edited and scheduled and everything last night and just done, which, spoilers, I got all done. But
How's that spoiler?
What?
How's that a spoiler?
I don't know. I'm just trying to be silly, LeRon. Jeez, God, give me this one. But I played Death's Door till like almost 1:00 in the morning. I did the second part of the kind of swamp area. I beat the second boss, and I got to the third dungeon, and that's when I turned it off. But I mean, I don't really know what else to say about that game. I'm gonna be really sad when it's over because it's there's only like 3 major bosses and then Death's Door. Like, so I think I'm about 2/3 of the way done with it.
How are the boss battles? Are they like very difficult?
The first one was pretty challenging, I thought, like the first major one. There's 2 like smaller boss battles before you get to the first kind of dungeon area. But the first one was kind of tough. The second one, I thought, once you figure out the mechanic of it, is pretty easy actually. But you have to like figure out the mechanic, because I probably died 4 or 5 times before I figured out what to do. And maybe that's just because I'm stupid. But yeah, it's the second boss was actually pretty easy. But man, this game, I love the story they're telling. I think it's just dark enough, but just snarky enough for my taste, And the combat is so fun. I love the different abilities that you get. I love just like chucking fireballs and bombs at people. The puzzles are they're just simple enough to like not be frustrating, but just challenging enough to like, when you figure it out, you're like, yeah, did it.
Nice. I'm telling you, Devolver Digital, they either I think they published this, right? Not developed it. I can't recall, but I just know that they put out good games, and I'm looking forward to starting it. I know you guys not necessarily compared it on Power Block the other night, but I know Ed just mentioned it, and I have a feeling that Death's Door just does certain things a bit better. At least it's different, and that's one of my struggles when I played with Tunic is not only was there zero direction, but the boss battles were significantly more it was nearly impossible for me. And I know I'm bad at video games, but I'm all for tough bosses. When I play a game like Gato Roboto, and those bosses were hard, but still, like, Tunic probably had the most frustrating bosses I've ever had to fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Yeah, I mean, I haven't played enough Tunic because, like, honestly, I'm waiting for a Switch version because I'm more likely to play it there. Like, I use Game Pass as like a testing ground for these indie games or these, I guess smaller games, not necessarily indie games. I'm not like the biggest indie game guy, but when I find one that I really like, I'm like, Switch. That's where I'll buy it.
I had a lot of similar ideas, especially when it came to Hades. Like, especially with these semi-death permanent runs, things like that, a lot of different mechanics going into it. I think the luck and the dice rolls behind the scenes have a lot to do with how much fun you're having. If they get that blend just right, it becomes like far more enjoyable than just basic path to each one thing. Like, I really enjoyed Hades, mostly because you actually get a little bit more player choice in to start out, especially concerning weapon and power up and things like that. The power ups you get through the game blend really together nicely. It's a little bit harder, especially once you get further and further. A lot of dodge movements, a lot of making sure you're paying attention to everywhere, different enemy mechanics to the end, so that you're usually just more than slash or stab it all the way to the end. But I think Hades is probably one of my favorite games like this in the vein of Death's Door and Tunic and things like that. Just because I think the roll of the dice, you get that right, that is a hook, line, and sinker for someone liking a game.
So the thing about Hades,
yeah,
Aewch doesn't know my.
Here we go.
My dislikes for certain genres. But like that's the first time I've ever heard it compared to Death's Door. I always thought it was like a procedurally generated roguelite, which are the two words that always push me away from games.
See, same for me. I'm not into the From Software or anything like that. But for some reason, like, there are elements of that. I wouldn't call Hades a full thing, but there are traits and moments where it can be like that. Like Death's Door, the way you're describing it sounds, again, similar with about the same traits or anything like that. Probably not exactly, but it sounds they live on the same street. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, Death's Door, I've always heard compared to like Souls games, and I'm not opposed to that, but like I'm not the biggest Souls fan. So like anytime I hear like, "Oh, this is a Souls," like I'm like, really another one? It's like
you think that term becomes too much of a coverall just for certain specific game set mechanics.
I mean, it's starting to become like the new Metroidvania, right? Where like it's just like a catch-all for this. Oh, you got to go fight a really hard boss, and if you die, you got to start back over from this certain place, whatever, which is fine. And I actually think Death's Door, like, it has those mechanics of like, yeah, you use literally the souls of your enemies to level up and stuff, and you fight these hard bosses. But I actually think it's more in line with something like a top-down Zelda game, in all honesty.
Okay.
It's
I can understand that. I think more with especially puzzle solving on that end for sure, especially going along with Zelda. I can see that. That's understood.
Yeah, and it actually, like, some of the environmental art actually reminds me a little bit, and it's not the same by any stretch, but it reminds me of the Link's Awakening remake in terms of just like it has this kind of really nice like plastic look, but it doesn't like look fake in a way. You know what I mean? Like it's just really nice to look at, and the art style's really nice, and just the way the world
like your toys came to life.
Yeah. And like the world is just really put together very nicely, and the characters are really fun and snarky, and it's just fun. It's just a real joy to play. And like I told them last week, like I think like sometimes I get in these gaming ruts where like I just can't find anything to play, and like once a year I find a game that is like it becomes the game that's going to make my top 25 list forever, right? And
the game you could do a TED Talk over.
yeah, and Death's Door is that game this year. It's just, and I know it came out last year on Game Pass and later, whatever, and I know I'm extremely late to this game, but it's a wonderful game.
Mm-hmm. See, I was like that with Atomic Crops on Xbox Game Pass. I know it's leaving, but I finally just had to go cold turkey. I'm done. I'm not going to beat the last level. I know it's too much, enough grinding, maybe, but I just went, you know what? We're going to let this one get away. Like, controller down, hands up, done. Mm-hmm. Because I had just spent so much time getting to that final difficulty level that it was just, we know what to do. We just got to get the right dice roll, get the right power-ups. And even then, you just have to be good. But I just had to go, no, we're done. We just cannot do any more. We have to find something else to play.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm really gonna try hard to beat it this weekend. Because I don't really have a lot to do at night this weekend. So yeah, that's the goal, because there's a couple other things I want to play, especially things that were ironically shown off today that I have mixed feelings about. But I guess so did everybody watch that Bayonetta trailer that was released today, right? The release date. It's,
No, I was too busy to check it out.
I don't think it was much.
Heard about it, know about it, didn't see it.
It's I have a lot of questions about this game, and I'm not like the biggest Bayonetta fan. I like Bayonetta. I know there's a few people on Boss Rush that love Bayonetta. This game is really straying far, I think, from what made Bayonetta 2 really good. And I like the new female protagonist that they showed off with the short hair. I think she looks cool. I think her sword looks cool. I think that's going to add a lot to the combat, actually. But I have some concerns with, like, Bayonetta's never really been the prettiest game. And, like, now they're making that game grow to scale, like, city-sized scales with these monsters, like, these fighting monsters and stuff. And I'm like, guys,
the Switch is going to struggle on that one.
Yes.
And, like, and, like, Platinum's never really been a great developer of scale either. Like, even on a console that is more powerful. And I'm just like, you're trying these big monster battles, and because, like, the director on this game is the director who was going to direct Scalebound. And I wonder if he's taking those ideas and trying to put them into Bayonetta. And, like, I really hope these monster battles aren't, like, a focus of the game, because, like, this is not what people want from Bayonetta. I think people want more DMC.
It's showing all the boss fights. I'm looking at this right now. These are all the boss fights. These aren't.
No, but Bayonetta can control monsters. Like, that's her whole thing in this game.
Yeah. Okay.
And, like,
I'm not liking her. I'm not liking her hair. I don't want her hair.
This is like a there's like a time jumping element in this game, and like a multiple dimension type thing going on in this game.
It just depends on how they design out the boss battles. Like, if they're doing, like, if you're fighting the entire damn thing on one screen, you're gonna see smoke coming out of your Switch the entire time. If you can design it where it's either piece by piece or background, foreground, something to change it up, not to challenge the technical aspects, I'll give it a chance by all means. But if they're going to try these big graphically pushing the envelope kind of scenes, you're dealing with a system that's already 5 years old, lagging behind anything current day, new released, even in its own generation.
Right.
It's like they're probably just looking at the deal, and it's just like, oh, exclusivity. Why did we say exclusivity?
I'm glad somebody else here is saying that.
I also wonder if they're like, Nintendo was like tired of pushing this game off because Platinum is not doing well. I mean, we've talked about it a lot, where Platinum is basically begging to be purchased because they've had so many kind of goose eggs their last couple releases, right? And so Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, how long was Platinum's how long or how many games was Platinum supposed to give like work out with Nintendo?
Well, Astral Chain is supposed to be a trilogy, although when Platinum signed that deal, they signed the rights over of the IP to Nintendo. So technically, Nintendo could make those games.
Nintendo can do
Platinum.
whatever Nintendo can.
So technically, once Bayonetta 3 is out, Platinum's contract with Nintendo is done.
Oh, they're free. Oh, they're free agents. Okay.
And technically, Nintendo does not own Bayonetta. Sega does.
Yeah.
So they could do something else with Bayonetta if they really wanted to. But I think Sega and Nintendo have a great relationship. So like even if they wanted to make a fourth one and Platinum went under, I think they could probably find someone like Team Ninja. That would cost a fortune for them to do. But
that might also be trash too. Like Team Ninja doesn't have like the best track record either.
I mean, I think people like Neo and Ninja Gaiden.
Ninja Gaiden was like a mixed bag for a lot of people. Like I talked to people, and as many people as I hear say they like the Ninja Gaiden like games. There's another one that says they were not a fan.
Yeah, but I mean that's fair. Also, they did that Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy game, which I've heard is interesting at best. But yeah, I don't know.
That was the weird thing. You have to think that Bayonetta 2 was a Wii U launch game, and if not launch, very, very early.
Yeah, I think it was like the Wii U came out in 2013. I think Bayonetta came out in 2014. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up.
Something along those lines.
Well, it infuriated me that Bayonetta 2 was like a Wii U exclusive. It infuriated me.
September 20th, 2014.
Because there was literally no way in hell I was going to buy a Wii U. Not after the way the Wii disappointed me.
Completely understood and a good bet.
Nintendo's best console. Until the Switch came out. I'm just saying, look at all the games on the Switch that made it over from the Wii U. There's only 3 missing.
You're
gonna make me the villain of your storyline now, because now I'm going to launch a large ass campaign to remove you from Pal Block.
Damn right I am. That's fine.
I am now the villain of your story.
It's fine. Look. I already told you, Aewch is going to take over. You guys can be with him, and I'll start my own podcast by myself.
I said Pal Block. I didn't say anything about Boss Rush Podcast. I said Pal Block. Now I'm gonna hit you far below the belt.
Don't threaten me with a good time, LeRon.
Look. Story taught me some things about the taint. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
What company did I get into?
I wonder about Stoy sometimes. He knows an awful lot about the taint. Till it was funny the first year. Now, I'm concerned.
I'm partially to blame because I once gave him crap because he went a full episode of not using the word taint, and then I called him out for it, and now he's obligatory on the XP cast to say taint at least once per episode.
It's your fault.
I corrupt. What can I say?
But
yeah. So I just watched the Bayonetta 3 trailer while we were talking about it.
It doesn't.
I'm not impressed. I can't believe it was on my day one list.
I'm not impressed either. But again, I'm not the biggest Bayonetta fan. But
if you have to consider the genre where you're looking at a Devil May Cry clone, if I'm speaking basically, haven't we kind of evolved a little bit from that, especially with From Software now going with their highly sophisticated, whatever you want to call it, detailed, really into it combat? Are we going to be going back to a button masher?
Well, I'm glad you brought up the whole Devil May Cry clone part, because in all honesty, that's what I loved about Bayonetta. Bayonetta did so many things that Devil May Cry was not doing right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like Devil May Cry was. It used to be my it. Well, I can't say it used to be my it series, because like Devil May Cry 1 was a smash success for me, and then 2 was like what the fuck. 3 was like okay, welcome back. 4 is another what the fuck, and 5 is okay. 5 is okay. I mean, like I like it. I don't really have any real beef with it. Like the fact that we're transitioning to 3 different characters now is kind of wild, but
What about the revamped DMC?
I
loved it.
I love
loved it.
DMC.
I loved it.
Okay.
I think
I
DMC
loved
is
I
the
heard
best
people
one.
kind of judged it a little harshly, but I remember playing it and it being not half bad.
You know, that was definitely like fanboy reaction.
Yeah,
I can tell you
of
that
course.
right now. You know, like there was just like it was a reboot. Like, you know, like you can do anything you want with a reboot. You know, and people don't pay attention to that.
Well, I guess the bottom line is, and I wrote the article and it came out, and I'm not a Bayonetta fan, but I am excited for people that have been waiting for it, because Bayonetta 3 was one of like the major titles that people were anticipating for Nintendo 2022.
That's
Yes.
true. That's
Right,
true.
'cause
I mean, they
before
were
all the delays,
anticipating
it
it
was
in 2018. So.
well, you know what, Corey? It's Breath of the Wild 2, which now has since been delayed. Bayonetta, Splatoon 3, Xenoblade 3, Mario plus Rabbids, a game that I will not mention because LeRon will have a stroke if I say its name.
Yeah.
So there's
please
a
don't.
lot of major titles that we've been waiting to come out in 2022, and people were afraid that Bayonetta 3 may have been pushed out. And I was actually just shocked they just casually dropped it in a tweet at 9 o'clock this morning. They're like,
By the way, what is wrong
Yeah,
with Nintendo?
They did
what's
that
going
with
on with
Splatoon,
Nintendo
though.
right now?
They did that with Splatoon, though. Splatoon 3, they
Okay, you
announced
know-
a release date in a trailer at like 8 o'clock in the morning.
I really feel like this goes back to what I said a couple of weeks ago on the show. I think that Nintendo was like, "Oh, there's no E3. We have no commitment to do shit."
Mm-hmm.
I really feel like that, you know, because if there wasn't E3, they would have turned around and looked at like, okay, you know, because it's kind of weird. Nintendo acts like there's no competition, but they know there's competition, so they would look at like who's out there doing what, and it's time to put on a show and stuff like that. But the moment they heard there was no E3 and kind of everybody was like retreating to their corners doing their own thing, Nintendo was like, we don't have to give y'all shit, you know, and we surprised you with a direct that was all about like Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and this is not me dissing Xenoblade Chronicles 3. It's not me dissing it, you know. But you turn around immediately after the show wrapped, fan reaction was like, "Where the fuck is the direct at?" So what they do, they give you a mini direct, and that wasn't enough. It was like
third party.
Yeah, it was third party. It was like they didn't even skim the surface. It was more like they just kind of like whipped it real fast with a damp towel and moved on, you know. And stuff like that, you know. And, you know, Nintendo fans, don't be mad at me. You guys are rabid for Nintendo content, so I get it. I feel your pain and everything. I get it, you know. I was kind of
It's
curious
not like
too,
anything else is coming.
But when I heard this mini direct was a partner mini direct, I was like, oh, we're gonna see Monster Hunter, and guess what we saw? Monster Hunter.
Well, and that's the thing. It's one thing if Nintendo really didn't have anything to show, but I thought, you know, Bayonetta 3 would have been something that would have been a great thing to drop on a direct in the summer. Hey, she's coming out around Halloween time. Bada bing, bada boom. But that's Nintendo, right?
I agree. I agree 100% with you, Stephanie. As a matter of
Yeah,
fact, I
but
agree with all the sentiments that have been said, like, you know, on social media like this past month about like what, and you know, I get it. Nintendo can go with the flow, and like I said, Nintendo's the #1 video game company in the fucking world. So you know, like they can do whatever the hell they want, but at the same time, like I don't know, like one of these days their fans are gonna turn on them.
They did. It was called the Wii U.
Was that really big enough of a revolt? Because
Yeah,
I feel like
people hated that thing.
I feel like we're paying for it now because we're getting all the Wii U's games at full price.
I know. That's why I said the Wii U is the best console, because they're porting literally every single game to Switch.
That's not how it works.
It's exactly
That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Sony had to put blood, sweat, and tears into the Last of Us remake to put $70 on the price tag.
Remake of a game they already remastered.
Okay, you know what? My
It's
boyfriend's
literally the
playing
same thing Nintendo did.
My boyfriend's playing the remaster game right now, and I can tell you right now, it's not that much remaster from the PS3 version. Like
it went from 1080p from 720p to 1080p, and it went from 30 frames to 60 frames. That's all they did to it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but you know, all I'm saying is like, you know, it's funny because like, you know, like Sony had. There's been all these polls coming out. Is this a cash grab for The Last of Us Part 1 and all this stuff? I don't think it is, honestly. You know, I guess we need to start having an analysis of like how long is too long to not make, you know, remake or remaster your game and stuff like that, you know. But you know, if you know, like Sony had to do something major to turn around and put a $70 price tag on a game that is only 10 years old, you know. But here we here we have like Nintendo trotting out titles that were that were still like they were still sizzling on the grill. $60.
LeRon, can you remind me? Was there any news about Last of Us coming to PC? Did I miss that train?
Yeah, it is coming. It is coming to PC. It will come out at a later date. Like I think it's like a 7-month delay.
I think
6 months. Okay.
6. Well,
yeah.
They said I think they said spring.
Well, there's no determined date yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's actually Sony's strategy, so I'm used to it now. Like they'll release the game first on console, and then PC gets it like half a year to like a year later.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's what it is, because Uncharted hasn't come out yet, and they made it seem like Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection was coming out within 2 months of the actual PS5 release.
I thought Legacy of Thieves collection was on PC already.
It's not out yet.
I swear it's out.
If it was out, I'd be playing it right now. If it was out, I'd be playing it right now. Like Sony games coming to PC. This is what I've been waiting for. This is like my dream come true since PS3 was a thing.
Okay, you're right. I looked at the Steam page. I thought it was out already.
Oh my god!
I just wanted to make sure. I was looking out for you, LeRon.
We're getting Spider-Man before we're getting Legacy of Thieves collection. Spider-Man was announced after Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection. We're probably gonna get we'll probably get Last of Us. We'll probably get Last of Us right. We'll probably get Uncharted right before Last of Us hits PC. But I guarantee you, like God of War is out now. What else? God of War. I guarantee you, Horizon Forbidden West is coming soon. I guarantee you. But I think the rumor is like Ghost of Tsushima is coming to PC.
Yeah.
I think.
And you know what? And if it is like, oh wow, my PS5 might as well be mothballed right now until Callisto Protocol happens.
I think you're gonna start seeing that gap close. For Sony, I think you're gonna see it.
You
drop
mean
from
like
2 years? I think you're gonna see it to months, like 6 months.
Oh yeah. Well, it's kind of happening now. Like I can tell like with the way Sony did like Horizon, God of War. I know there's another one. What am I missing here? Oh, Returnal's coming to PC.
Days Gone is on PC.
Yeah, Days Gone.
Death Stranding. Yeah. I know that's not Sony.
Well, Death Stranding. Well, Death Stranding was technically like it was kind of a partnership deal.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. But ultimately what I'm saying is like those earlier games, those are games that Sony like, we're going to test the waters out to see how the PC market like reacts to it and stuff like that. And the PC market reacted very big to it. So, now they're like, oh, we have a new gold mine that we can tap,
Yeah.
And modders can put Homer Simpson in the game.
Oh god.
Yeah.
The Simpsons are just going to be.
And you know what? Modding games actually make stuff fun. Like the stuff that like the stuff they did with Horizon Zero Dawn, for example. Like some of the mods and stuff like that. That was crazy.
So the only thing people want to do is watch Homer Simpson fight Thomas the Tank Engine. That's all anybody wants.
And they fix half of the mistakes in the game too. Yeah. Like, how many mods does Skyrim have?
And
exactly. Make it better.
That's the other thing too. Modders fix the games. And you know what? I think it's kind of like a half-ass symbiosis now, because like some of these companies know they can get away with putting out half-ass games, Bethesda, and knowing the modders are going to do the work and fix it for them, which is why we still have like the most milquetoast freaking like Fallout 76 ever. Like, yeah, and shit. Like, isn't it free now? I think it's. Is it free or like damn near free?
Maybe. Yeah. Although you have to give an email to sign up, and I was just like, no, we're not doing that. You let me play the game.
That's too much of a commitment.
you let me play the game, and we're done here. You're not getting. You're not sending me wasted emails. I'm not gonna check over. We're not playing that game.
We're done.
Yeah, yeah, but ultimately, Nintendo, like, follow Boss Rush's slogan: "Be better." Come on, guys. The thing is, y'all are good at this shit. Y'all know what y'all are doing, But you're gonna have another fucking revolt on your hands. Like, your next console is gonna come out, and people are like, "Oh, we're just firing for OLEDs and our Switch lights."
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's what people do. I mean, first of all, the thing with the Wii U, though, is that thing was marketed like crap. People thought it was an add-on.
But here's my thing: how do people stick with the Wii because the Wii was a very basic ass system. Yeah, it was a fun box for sure, but it was a basic ass system.
It was.
Well, some of us, LeRon, are basic bitches. Okay.
Hey,
I like my pumpkin spice latte with my leggings and Uggs and my Wii.
I mean, I had a total of 11 games for my Wii before I was like, it's time for me to like divorce your ass. You know,
I didn't even have that many. I think I had like 7 or 8.
Wait, for the Wii, you
Yeah.
had more games for the Wii U than you had for the Wii.
Yeah, I have like 40 games for the Wii U.
Wow. Wow.
Stephanie,
we're doing this whole Nintendo thing wrong.
I think I have 7 Wii games, including Wii Sports.
Damn.
I have.
Gotta be Wii
I
Sports.
could see them right now. I have Epic Mickey, Twilight Princess,
Of course.
Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, Wii Sports, Xenoblade Chronicles, Metroid Other M, and
See, the dumbest thing I could have done was got rid of my GameCube, thinking that I was gonna get Twilight Princess for the Wii.
that's it.
And yeah, like that was the dumbest thing I ever. I should have kept my GameCube and just got Twilight Princess on that.
Yeah, good luck getting Twilight Princess for GameCube right now. I tried to look it up because I wanted to replace my copy that
It's called emulators.
or I can just play it on the Wii U because I already have the HD version.
It's called emulators.
You know, LeRon, you do what you want to do with your fancy mega
Or I'll
PC to play.
Or I'll
all
just
these
wait for
retro
I'll just wait for
games.
this. I'll just wait for this fabled Switch version of it to come out. That's honestly like, you know, that's the thing about it. Like, you know, like I talk all this shit about Nintendo, and like I've literally got like $300 waiting for Nintendo. You know, in games.
I'm like a lover scorned, okay? Nintendo's never, ever, 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 ever gonna fucking release any Zelda, Twilight Princess, or Wind Waker anything.
They are.
They will
are.
never. They
I'm
will
telling
never.
you.
Me
I'm telling
and
you,
Stephanie
Wind
are
Waker's
like-
coming first.
Me and Stephanie are like battered spouses for Nintendo. Like Nintendo flinches, and we're like, oh god, please don't hurt us.
I'm telling you, Wind Waker is coming.
No. it's
Twilight
not.
Princess is up in the air, but Wind Waker, Nintendo's not going to let that
You know
game ride on 2 consoles nobody bought.
I'm drinking a lot of y'all's Kool-Aid, you Nintendo fans. So like I have hope that we get a Metroid Prime 1 re-release, you know, on the Switch.
Rumored for November.
Because
supposedly.
Nintendo would really be really nice to me if they just put the trilogy all out, you know, in like one bundle.
No, they're going to make you pay $60 for all 3 of them. They're
Yeah,
all
I know.
The first
and
one-
it'd be one of those things I wrestle. It'd be one of those things I wrestle with, you know.
So, what podcast was it? It was either I think it was Game Mess Mornings. Jeff Grubb's kind of giant bomb podcast thing going on over there. He said that the first game, and Tom Henderson backed this up later. The first game is getting a quality of life. It's half remaster, half remake.
Oh, that justifies the $60 price tag right there. Then,
But
it really does. It really does. I can't argue
2
with
and
that.
3 are following shortly after as
And they're just as is
basic
games.
HD updates.
So they should bundle 2 and 3 together. Then
They should bundle them all together for $60.
they should bundle them all together. Yeah, that's true. They should bundle them all together. But if they're gonna do a mishmash freaking like remaster, then I understand why they can get away with charging. It's just like how Sony can get away with charging $70 for The Last of Us remake.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, man, I wish.
I mean, we can sit here and be disgusted all day, but I mean, you know, like certain things are like just justifiable for why like they price things the way they do, and you know, it's understandable. As consumers, we have the power though. We can be like, no, these games are gonna come out at $30. We're not buying this shit.
We don't have any power. We're all gonna cave. We're all gonna get it, and we're all gonna come on this podcast 6 months from now and complain about all the money we spent on games.
Where's the freaking like the belt or the tie? You know, we're
LeRon, we don't promote drug use on this show.
Video games are our drug. What are you talking about?
I don't know. I'm just
like I mean, like okay, if video games weren't a plausible habit, how come you're cleaning out 2/3 of your room?
Because I would like to have money for new things.
Okay. See, there you go. I'm
curating is what the fancy people call it.
Yeah, it's just like the people who double, triple, quadruple dip on games that they know they've played the fuck out of. Like.
Sorry.
I mean, I'm guilty of it too. Like God, I used to have the nickname Captain Capcom for a reason. Like every time Capcom re-released one of their fighting games or one of their specialty games, I was like, "Yep, sign me up." Like shoot, like I'm right now staring at a Capcom arcade cabinet, knowing that I have all this shit on the emulator, or I can pull out my PS4 and play some of this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But.
Actually, I can't pull out my PS4. PS4 is in my boyfriend's house, so I had to go over there and take over his television.
This is how it goes, though. I mean, this is what happens, and
this is kind of why I reined myself in, and I love that Stoy put a feature piece out about how he realized that collecting retro games was a waste of his money. I love it because that's honestly his words are exactly how I felt, and which is why I don't do all sorts of stuff
I mean, that's
I should ask you guys what your biggest gaming regrets are, because that was our crossroads topic last night. What your biggest gaming regrets were, and one of my biggest gaming regrets were falling in line and getting all these collector's editions. Because what broke me out of that was the Metal Gear Solid 4 one. It was supposed to be the most epic thing. It was only $100, so it was the most epic thing, and we literally and only the game was worth like its value.
Yeah.
Once that collector's edition came out.
Yeah. Well,
Yep, and that was from there on. I put very, very much scrutiny. Like, I'll get a deluxe edition. Yeah, I'll spend $10 extra, but you're not getting an extra 30 out of me for a game now.
Yeah, I'm more of I'm gonna get the basic game, and if there's like a collectible something that comes out afterwards, like a statue or something, like I'll probably get it. Like Halo Infinite, for example, had like a $200 version or something. I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention. There's some sort of like super expensive version. And I was like, no, I'm not going to get that. It looks like junk. And then there was a $60 Master Chief statue. And I was like, I'll get that instead. And I'm quite happy with it. So, anyways. What else are we talking about? Stephanie, you said you had a topic?
Well, I mean, now it's just it actually had to do with collector's editions and stuff, but I wanted to ask first, Aewch, if you had a topic, and no pressure if you didn't bring one, but, as a guest, we always want to let the guest, throw out a topic.
I've always, real recently, again, because of trying to do podcasts, things like that, I've been kind of bouncing this idea, especially when it comes to like our streaming services, our habits and things like that. There's the binge watching, like watching the entire season, series, what have you. I'm starting to think that's more bad than good anymore. Because to me, I have always thought that when you binge watch something, do you know what you even watched, absorbed, or is all that just bouncing off of our thick skull and not absorbing into anything?
Mm-hmm.
I like this topic.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, I've been reviewing movies, like watching old movies. I'll watch a lot of riff tracks and Mystery Science Theater, just because those are more fun than trying to take it seriously. So, like, when you take a look at a piece of media and you try to figure out the good, the bad, it's like, that's fine. But then you go, why is it good? Why is it bad? Other than the obvious, I just watched a movie called The God Monster of Indian Flats. Don't bother looking it up. There's no information on it. Trust me, I went to IMDb. There's like 2 facts. It was on Riff Tracks, and the monster takes an hour to get into the movie. That's all the information at IMDb would have on it. So, like, it's a ridiculous monster movie. It's a mutated sheep more than anything. And I just sit there and would just go, that's a stupid monster movie, but I'm kind of impressed by the rest of it. Because it just became this layer after layer after layer of plot that you're drowning in it. Like, you needed a pair of fisherman waders to wade through this movie because it is so much with it. And then, like, the ending's just insane. Like, the ending is that mixture of, I don't understand what's going on, something very violent is happening, now there's explosions, what the hell is going on? to have that kind of level of entertainment happening at you, you're watching, whatnot, you just go, we have to remember this somehow. We cannot let a ridiculous ending of this stupid sheep monster movie happen and then just move on to the next thing. Like, it's one of those things where if you don't look at your has to be seen to believe moments, like, it's just getting passed by. And it's kind of like when you see something on the road, like you see Bigfoot, and it's just like, did anyone else see Bigfoot? It's like, no, what the hell are you talking about? We're driving. It's just like, he was out there. I swear to God, he had a thumb out. He was hitchhiking. It was really weird. So that's just my weird take on especially watching things now. It's just like, if you don't absorb what you're watching, why are you watching it?
That's a good point. Like I don't typically binge, because I don't know, like I
too much time.
Well, there's that. There are some days. There's some days, like, you know, like if it's quickly absorbable, yeah, I can do it. You know, like there's, like, you know, like certain miniseries, like half-hour episodes, and, you know, like 5 episodes long and stuff like that. Yeah, that's basically a movie. You know, in my opinion. You know, stuff like that. But you know, like, when you have like anything that goes outside of 8 episodes, you know, for, you know, in a run, and they're hour long, or sometimes, you know, like shit, when like the networks are getting really, really frisky with themselves, like, you know, like they're not exactly, they're a little bit over an hour long and stuff like that, you know.
That was the one thing. Whenever stuff like Lost was out, The Office was out, I always called that hipster homework, where you have to go back and watch the entire series back through just to get to season 4 and like all the character relations, and it's just like, no, I'm not gonna do that. No. Yeah.
But yeah, like there's something to be said about, like, you know, like just the way people consume like stuff these days, you know, and they get mad when like these networks, you know, have the audacity to put like 1 episode out a week, or, you know, despite like just 2 weeks ago they put an entire season out, you know.
Right. Yeah. I think that's just kind of a weird byproduct of the have it all, look it up immediately social media era of entertainment that we're in now.
It's also the Netflix effect, because like Netflix didn't do this, you know, like Netflix learned that, hey, like sometimes people will just turn around and sit down and watch like 4 seasons of ER in like a week, you know.
Well, George Clooney was so handsome back then, so
yeah.
But yeah, that is just, I think the day and age we're living in now, where it is just, you can find it online, watch it immediately, and be done. Like back in the day when you just had to watch it on that specific night, that time slot, that day, and then you didn't see it again until summer if you were lucky. So
yeah.
all that's gone.
It also,
you can just watch.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I
it's like that. You can watch what you want when you want to, wherever you're at, because all phones are now nothing but supercomputers in our pocket. It is a crazy level of accessibility that has some good and bad to it.
Mm-hmm. It also creates that problem where like there's too much to watch now. You know.
Oh yeah.
There's way too much to watch.
I feel like that's always been the problem.
Yeah,
Shit,
but
like,
I feel like before streaming services, before like you could actually like see it all, right? Like, like I don't know, when you're watching cable, you look at either you DVR it, or you look at the, you know, like the cable, like the channel that has like, oh, here's what's coming up in the next 2 hours or whatever.
The TV Guide channel.
Yeah, the TV Guide channel. Yeah, and it's like, man, now that I can like go, you could spend more time on Netflix scrolling than actually
watching something.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, and like, you know, I mean, Disney Plus, it's a little easier because like it's all Disney, but like it's more curated.
You know what you're going after, yeah.
Yeah, it's more curated. Like, oh, if you're a Marvel fan, you're gonna go and watch Miss Marvel once a week, right? And by the way, great show. I haven't watched the finale yet, but
it's over.
Yeah, today was the last episode.
I haven't watched the episode of that. I haven't watched Moon Knight.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just, man, there's way too much. And then like Hulu is kind of the same way, although like we have the cable version of Hulu or whatever. So watch basketball or football on it or sometimes, but like I started watching the Orville, and there's 3 seasons of the Orville on there, and it's like, I don't know, this is the first time I actually felt myself watching something other than scrolling in like, I don't know, a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But still, I started watching out of a recommendation, not because, you know, it looked interesting. I mean, like, it was sort of interesting, but like I wasn't gonna like go out of my way to watch it, you know. But that's me too. I don't really watch things. I don't really like to watch things, but I don't know. There's just too much.
Yeah.
There's too many services now too. Like, it was different.
Yeah, one thing that is always going to make me mad. Like, I'm a martial artist, humble brag,
Nice.
but UFC has like their history, their library, their stuff like that. But for some reason, if you want to watch the live fights, they're all on ESPN Plus. So that's 2 different services, and it's just like, you can blend these together and make it easier, but they signed a big ESPN deal, so they're doing what they can to get that coin, to get more coin, should I say.
Well, like when Netflix was first there, like everything was just coming to Netflix, and it was like, oh yeah, Netflix is worth keeping, you know. But then like, okay, Hulu is this thing now that exists. Okay, there's 2 streaming services, whatever. Oh, Disney's jumping in. Okay, well, I guess it makes sense because Disney has the content to like have their own streaming service, right? So whatever, 3, that's the limit. Now you have like Peacock and Paramount Plus and like HBO Max and whatever.
And all the free stuff.
Yeah.
Like, there is just stuff that you don't have to pay for that has like a crazy library in and of itself.
Yeah.
So like, to even have any kind of paid service is, you are a deep dish fan or you don't know any better. Like, that's the only thing. Like, you can find something that you would like to watch even on the free stuff, you know?
Yeah.
See, that's the thing, because, you know, initially when it was like just Netflix or something, people were like, great, like I don't even have to pay a fraction of, you know, cable and still get some good shows. But now I think I even wrote an editorial like a long time ago that there are so many streaming services, mostly for television, but even now for gaming, where I need to start cutting things out. Like, I actually finally dropped Netflix because I have nothing on there to really like that I'm a diehard fan for. So I dropped Netflix, which I thought I'd never do.
I know. I'm highly considering dropping. I would highly consider dropping Netflix. But also, like, I don't think if it wasn't for my wife, I don't know if I would have Hulu either, to be honest. You know, the only thing that I watch on Hulu sometimes is live sports, which you can do on. I think Amazon is getting the NFL Sunday Ticket, which shows every football game. You can watch the Browns on clevelandbrowns.com and like whenever you want. And the Cavs are on I don't know, something. They're on something. They're on some streaming service that has the NBA package or whatever. It's like, why do I need this, you know? But it's too much. It's too much.
It's a lot.
This is why I don't watch anything. It's too much.
It's just gridlock in your mind for entertainment. Because if you just try to think, okay, I like this show, but I like that actor. Ooh, that director came out with something. Oh, this looks funny. This looks ridiculous. And then you just pass out because you lose 5 hours and it's just like, what happened? Oh, yeah, I didn't watch anything. Oh, yeah. Okay. So it's a lot.
And back to what you're saying about, you know, taking your time to absorb things, because I had to step away for a second. I kind of divide whether or not I binge something. If I rarely binge, but if I binge something based on kind of like the quality of the show, like when I was watching Game of Thrones, I cannot binge something like Game of Thrones. It needs to have my undivided attention, one show, let it sink in. But if it's something like, I call it mental chewing gum, where maybe I'm doing laundry or cleaning the house and I need something in the background, it'll be something
stupid,
like 90 Day Fiance. So
yeah, I think my wife just ended her 90-day session just now, I think. So yeah, she loves that show. I'm not gonna stop her. You know.
You're a good husband.
I know. There's also like 37 spinoffs of that show. So
There is 90 Day the Other Way, 90 Day Single Life, 90 Day Before the 90 Days.
I have watched Pillow Talk before, which is like where the old cast watches the new show, which is weird. But it's
that's when the spinoffs get really like, did this need to happen?
Yeah. But I think my wife started watching that because one of her favorite couples was on it, and they weren't dramatic enough to continue on the regular show. So like they were like, yeah, we don't want you anymore. But they like were on this show, and now they have their own spinoff show apparently. So
what couple?
What are their names? I forget who.
Oh, is it Michael and Angela?
It's the Ukrainian. It's like the Jewish Ukrainian guy and the girl from Florida, Lexi, something.
All right. Oh, maybe. I don't know. Anyway.
Maybe it's Alexi. The guy's name is Alexi.
Okay. Emily and Alexi. All right, anyway, we're talking about 90 Day Fiance way too much on social podcast.
We should start 90 Day Boss Rush.
Okay.
Oh, pass.
I don't know what the premise that would be.
Yeah. Anyways.
Nice topic, Aewch. Maybe, have you considered turning that into an article?
Maybe eventually. That's off the top of my head. If I actually have to try to bullet point this stuff out, that helps, but I gotta really dig into it. So
I thought it was a really clever topic.
Thank you. I try.
That's a good topic.
A for effort.
I think
A for Aewch.
Yes.
By the way, side tangent, Stephanie, I found a game that I think you're gonna like. I don't know why. I was just like on Nintendo Life looking something up, and it's called Potion Permit. I'm gonna send it to you in the chat.
Ooh.
It looks like a indie game you might like, and it's a open world 16-bit RPG. So.
Oh my gosh. I think I actually have this favorited in my Nintendo eShop.
Oh, do you?
Now that I see the picture of it, Potion Permit, yeah.
Anyways, well, do we wanna wrap it here? Or...
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
I think
sounds good.
I'm good with that.
Yeah. All right. Well, Aewch, thank you for joining us. It was a real pleasure having you on. You can come back on anytime you want.
You send me the message. I will be here, and I will keep the hat on.
Great.
Yay!
Wear that.
It's weird when you can develop a podcasting hat. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. Yes. I have a whole closet full of old podcasting hats. So.
Oh no! Anytime. That was fun.
Oh man, when we first started, like I've been uploading a lot of old Nintendo Power Block episodes to the feed because when we transferred services, some of them didn't make it over, and man, the hats I used to wear were way too small for my head. And also, I did the thing where the camera was like looking up at your face instead of like straight on or down at like an angle. Oh man,
right?
Man, that was rough.
It was a choice.
It was the wrong choice. I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening to this episode of the Boss Rush Podcast. You can find the show every Friday on your podcast service of choice. You can get the audio version 1 week early, as well as early access to 3 other shows if you head on over to Patreon, patreon.com/Boss Rush Network. You can check out all of our content on bossrush.net. Aewch, remind people where they can find you.
This is the one part I always practice my plugs. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and all other social media at Just Aewch, capital JUST, capital AEWCH, and check out my podcast, The Aewchcast, available at anchor.fm/Aewch, or search it on Spotify or your podcast catcher of choice.
Nice.
That was awesome.
I should probably learn how to do that. Stephanie, where can we find you?
the people can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Klimov_author. Articles on bossrush.net, on other episodes such as After Dark, and the classically animated Disney episodes under Standard Definition, among other things.
LeRon?
All right. As always, you can find me on social media by looking me up at Exodus803. It's also my YouTube and Twitch channels, as well as my PlayStation Network ID and my Steam ID. And don't forget, Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on my YouTube channel, The Crossroads Video Game Podcast airs live at 8 p.m. With the recap show happening the following Wednesday. And now the audio podcasts are also available that same evening, that same Wednesday evening.
Nice. My wife came in to correct me about the 90-day Pillow Talk couple that has a spinoff. It's Lauren and Alexi.
Okay, thank you.
Stephanie says thank you. You can I got all messed up now. You can find me at IamCoreyHC on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me on Nintendo Pow Block, on Standard Definition, on After Dark, and a plethora of other things here on the Boss Rush Network. I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening. Remember to like, subscribe, share, rate, and review wherever you listen. We will see you next week on the Boss Rush Podcast. Goodbye, everybody.
Good night.
So long.
Out.